Hey guys, Monster here, and I thought that I would um do a video on my chest pack. So I kind of explained in my last video that I had bought a cheap one off Amazon for around 10 bucks. They were having a sale, 50% off. It was a cheap $20 one. Got it for 10 bucks. I absolutely loved it, but I didn't like the quality of it. So I shopped around. Actually, I didn't even realize 511. I've used 511 stuff for years. Very durable, very high quality stuff. Me used to being in law enforcement, I ran a lot of their stuff like duty belt, duty boots. It held up really well. My everyday carry bag is a Rush 12 511, so I'm not like a huge 511 fanboy. I have other gear and stuff, but I know that the uh, the stuff works and it lasts. But again, I wasn't even aware that they had sold chest packs. So I was looking around and I actually looked on 511's official website, and these typically run for about $65, 64 and change eBay. I buy a lot of used gear off eBay because you can get it pretty cheap. Again, they run about $65. On 511's website, though, these were on sale for $29. This is the Skyline. I believe this is there's two of them. I can't remember exactly which one this is. They have the survival and the utility. I can't remember which of the two this one is. This was the more expensive version. It has more pockets. The other one has laser cut. It looks like Molly in the front of it with one main pocket. I think this is the survival one just because of the pockets. So these were $29 a piece. So I bought two of them. So it's pretty much if you these were full price, buy one get one free. The other one's still sealed in the package. I have not taken this out yet. Um, Here in a couple weeks, if they're still on sale. I don't know as of this time if they are, but at the time I bought these, they were. Even for $65, I think these are well worth it. Again, I haven't tried them out in the field, but they're very comfortable. I can fit everything I want to in these, and I want to go over how I'm going to run this season. I hunt almost everything that is in season when it is in season per the Pennsylvania Game Commission. So right now it is, I don't know, March. It's March 2026. I can't exactly remember the date, but I know it's March. Turkey season starts in May. So my hunting year usually starts. Sorry, my 2-year-old in the background. He's not happy, but my wife's making dinner and he's not happy about it. Um, so I kind of live on a schedule. I fish in the spring, the summer, um, bass, catfish, all that stuff. And I also spring hunt, but most of the hunting I do starts in the fall with small game like squirrel, rabbit, hare, groundhog, fox, deer. Deer is probably the biggest thing I hunt for. I want to get into bear hunting, but deer hunting is just. I grew up, I went every year with my grandfather, and I just have carried on that tradition. I get about a deer a year, whether it's a buck or a doe. But, anyways, so I have this geared right now more toward small game hunting because I have it's actually a 511, the Rush 10, the sling pack. That carries all my hunting gear in it, like thermals, ammo. Like, I'm not going to carry all my deer skinning stuff in this pack because if I'm hunting squirrels, rabbits, things like that, I don't need small bone saw, rib spreader, things like that. So I don't need all of that extra weight in here, but I have it in that hunting pack because those two coincide with each other. So no matter what I'm hunting, I take both. I'm going to take that bag and this. I've really struggled carrying gear out in the field, especially with deer hunting. So, because I've only recently got into archery hunting the past couple years, I grew up rifle hunting. Recently, I've been bow hunting in the rut here in Pennsylvania, and I've actually gotten some pretty nice buck out of it. A nice 8 pointer, and then I got a 10 pointer this past deer season, but with a rifle. So I kind of have to tune this pack to what I'm hunting, or it could be a hiking bag. Disclaimer: I always carry a semi-automatic handgun in the woods. I do not hunt with that handgun. It is not legal to take a deer with a semi-automatic in the state of Pennsylvania. I carry a Glock 29 in the woods, 10 millimeter for when I'm out in the woods. I'm more concerned about spooking a predator, coming across unsavory people, two-legged animals, things like that. Um, I have come across bear deer hunting. I've never been in a situation where I felt threatened by one, but there's always a possibility. And I carry a gun, every day when I leave the house anyway, so it doesn't really add any more to what I want to carry or how I carry. So I carry a Glock 29, 3 o'clock inside the waistband with the 10 round mag, and I do keep an extra magazine in this. Again, it doesn't matter when I'm hunting, where I'm hunting, I carry a sidearm. Again, I carry it for self-protection. I don't use it to hunt, dispatch animals, nothing like that. That is illegal here in the state of Pennsylvania. I just want to clear the air on that because I know some people are going to get pissed off and, talk a bunch of shit. Like, well, you can't hunt deer with it. I know that. I'm very familiar with all the laws here. I've hunted all my life. So I carry it purely for self-protection, whether, again, it's against a predator. It's basically for anything that I'm not hunting that would be hunting me. That's how I've described it. So let's get into it. 511 skyweight. Phenomenal deal, specifically in this woodland camel. I really wanted to get one in orange, blaze orange, but this was the only color that was for the sale. That cheap one in ACO camo for $10, I might try out for fishing just because I have it now, and I have a literal tote of bags that I don't use because I buy so many. It's like women with purses and shoes, but, tactical bags. Some of you will understand that. So getting into the bag, what I carry on it, or what I want to carry in it, because I have not used this yet. I've not carried this in the field yet. I like that it has lashing points down here. I run a tourniquet. If I'm out in the woods, if I'm hiking or hunting, I feel like two of the biggest injuries are life-threatening injuries or broken limbs and puncture wounds. Puncture wounds being shot by another hunter, accidentally being shot by another hunter, or intentionally being shot by another hunter, say, because I own hunting property, but it's 3 hours away. So I can't always go up to that every time I want a small game hunt. Turkey, bear, deer, that's worth me taking a 3-hour trip for. I own the land, it is what it is. So I don't feel like driving up there every time I want a small game hunt. There is state game land probably 5 minutes from where I'm renting right now. So it's a little bit cumbersome. So being out with, and it's just as dangerous on private land too, because you have people that trespass. I've had issues with trespassers up there. We have a lot of Amish up there that don't quite care about property lines. I'm not talking shit. It's just the Amish in that particular area don't care about private land. They just kind of do what they want. So, again, that's why I carry. But puncture wounds, accidentally shot by another hunter, being intentionally shot by another hunter. Maybe you're on public land, you come across their spot, they don't want you there. You maybe not have known that they were hunting there. You accidentally stumble across where they're hunting. They don't like it. They shoot you. Those are real world scenarios and possibilities. Puncture wounds, you fall down a hill, you break a branch, branch goes into your limb, into your ribs, that happens. Or a broken bone. So tourniquet will save the puncture wounds at least to the extremities. Sharpie to obviously mark the time right on the hunting license. So that's why I carry a tourniquet, is puncture wounds. And I have some other stuff in here for that. So up here, this elastic pocket. I don't want to keep my hunting license in here. Some other people that have reviewed this keep their hunting license in here, or their cell phone. That's in my pocket. Cell phone's very important. Where I hunt privately, where my hunting property is, does not have cell service. But I'm close enough to the house to where in certain spots I will have cell service, or I'll carry a radio, hook it to one of these lashing points here, and I can just clip it right there. We usually carry walkie-talkies, me and a buddy that hunt on my land. So if I fall or whatever, I have that. But where I hunt public land, I've tested it. I have cell service almost the entire range of where I small game hunt. So front pocket, I actually picked up the Simmons rangefinder the other day. I like mom and pop gun shops. I've talked about this before. Used stuff. I just picked this up the other day. I got this and a Glock 21 mag for $40. So I got the pair for $40. It works. I don't like the batteries it takes. They're CR2s. It is dusty. It is dirty. I haven't cleaned it yet. It was used. It was sitting in a box, but it does work. So I carry that there. That's the only thing I carry in that pocket. This is where I'm going to keep my hunting license, this zipper pocket here. I don't have anything in there at the moment. But that's where my hunting license is going to go, so I have quick access to it in case I come across a game commission officer. So here in the main pocket, I have a variety of stuff. These two pockets, there's a lot of organization in this. I love it. So these two pockets are first aid, boo-boo kit, alcohol pads, triple antibiotic Band-Aids, compression gauze, stop bleeding. I do need to pick up some Quick Clot to put in here. I think there was some bleed stop actually in here somewhere. Back here, I keep my skinning knife. Again, I got this in a bin. The brand is not it's not the HME or whatever. It takes the 60A scalpel blades. It's very easy to do. There's a button that pops them in and out. This was $5 in a bin. I looked them up on Amazon. I was able to find this brand. I can't remember. But they go for about $45 for $5. I picked it up. There's even some deer hair still on it because deer hair still on it because I used this to skin my buck last year. So I keep the skinning knife, pretty accessible, extra blades. Nothing down there. Over here, some extra CR123A batteries for my Surefire that I told you I carry. I do carry this. I like this a lot. It's a gut hook, but it takes standard utility blades. This and the butt out tool is like $15. I'm not too sold on the butt out tool yet, but I like this because it takes utility blades. I did use this for my buck. It works great. I don't think I carry too much else. I need to throw some zip ties in here because zip ties work wonder out in the woods. Thought I had more in here than I do, but I guess I don't. I'm still kind of building it out for when hunting season starts. Back here is where some of the fun stuff is. I have these. I bought these on Amazon, these shell holders. They came for like $12, Velcro. And the other piece of it is adhesive, so I even put one on my sling. And if I don't feel it carrying on the hip, I can take this out, put a Velcro holster in there, and carry my pistol this way if I want to. So carrying ammunition, extra ammunition, is probably one of my biggest gripes going out into the woods. I understand your coats, your hoodies have pockets and stuff like that, but if it's warm out and you want to wear a t-shirt, I usually just wear a blaze orange t-shirt, orange hoodie, and an orange hat. I just usually buy clothing specifically that's orange. That way I don't have to fumble with vests or this or that. I'll just buy an orange t-shirt, blaze orange t-shirt, and an orange hat. Simple as that. It's easy. I keep an orange shirt in my hunting bag along with my hat, my orange beanie. So I don't like throwing stuff in my pockets, especially jeans pockets. I usually wear jeans no matter what I'm hunting, whether it's deer or whatever. I know people have issues with that. I shot a 10-point buck last season with jeans on. It is what it is. You know, I'm not going to sit here and argue whether you can or can't wear them. I do. I've never had any issues. I know deer can see blue, but again, I've never had issues. I usually hunt from blinds. For example, the one blind we put up, it's an up off the ground blind. It's an old diving board platform, a metal one that we ratchet strap to a tree, put plywood around, so they can't see my legs because I'm sitting down. So most of the time I'm hunting squirrels and stuff. I've never had issue wearing jeans. I just wear jeans, boots, and then usually the orange up top. That's just how I hunt. It's how I've hunted. I've always been successful. It just is what it is. Everybody's preference difference. I don't judge anybody for that. It's just what works for me. I'm most comfortable in jeans. I wear them all year round. So I like this because now I have 6 extra shells. I love 12 gauge. I hunt with 12 gauge, but recently I have really been getting into 20 gauge. I picked up a Mossberg 500 that was drilled and tapped. I put a red dot on it. I like Mossbergs. I like Remingtons too. I've owned them. It's just I've always gravitated toward Mossbergs. I just have accessories for Mossbergs. I like the Maverick 88s a lot. You can switch parts in between them. I just like that compatibility a lot. So I picked up this nice, not quite a youth model, but it's definitely short. It might be a youth model. I don't know. I'm short. I have a small, stocky build. So the smaller shotgun fits me better. I don't mind carrying around a 12 gauge, but when I'm small game hunting, I'm moving a lot opposed to deer hunting where I'm sitting and waiting. I don't, what's it called, stock and spot with deer usually. To and from the stand, I'll do that because I'm usually pretty far from my stand, a couple hundred yards. Not that that's far because I know people walk 10 miles out, but for me, I'm just saying, again, everybody's different. Everybody's situation, everybody's hunting situation is different. I will stock and spot when I'm going to and from the stand. I've gotten deer like that before, which is hilarious, but it is what it is. That's what makes hunting so great is you have those cool memories. But with shotguns, or a 22, I usually run for small game, squirrels, rabbits. I will either run a 10-22 or I will run a 20 gauge. 20 gauge, that shotgun is much lighter than my full size 12 gauge. It doesn't kick nearly as hard, and it has more than enough power to take down anything in North America. You put a 20 gauge slug in, you could probably take a moose, bear, things like that. I know people that hunt bear with 20 gauge slugs. 20 gauge is good enough for me. Not that I hunt squirrels with 20 gauge slugs. That would be hilarious. Now I'm getting a very old 10 gauge repaired that I would love to hunt squirrels with just because I want to see what happens. Not slugs, but just small game loads. But I like 10 gauge, which is kind of funny. I'm saying I like 20 gauge because it's lighter, but I'm going to hunt with a 10 gauge that weighs like 15 pounds. But anyways, that's nor here nor there. But 99% of the time I like 20 gauge. That's what I hunt with. So that's what I'm just running in here. I'm testing it out, testing the weight, seeing what works, what doesn't work. Now this still has plenty of room in here, even with this stuff in it. These are the blades, by the way. I highly recommend these. I can change them out on the fly. It's the same thing why I don't like rechargeable flashlights. Same with the batteries. I can switch the blades in and out and go. Little lock back. It's got rubber on it. Your hands get bloody. I don't wear gloves when I gut deer or skin animals. That's just personal preference. If you do, that's fine. I know people that I know older people that do. So I can't sit here and say, well, you're a pansy for not wearing gloves, because it is what it is. I just choose not to. It's one more thing I have to carry. So, I will be adding some more stuff to here. I actually just thought of the zip ties, but I can put more stuff in here per the situation. So I'm gonna zip. Oh, this is a Glock 20 magazine, 10 millimeter. I'm running the Hornady Backcountry Defense. It doesn't get the best reviews for penetration, but here in Pennsylvania we only have black bear. I feel like it would do just fine for black bear. The polyagonal rifling in my Glock, I'm really not comfortable shooting hard casts, but you get 15 rounds in a backup mag of bear loads. That's why I run the 20 magazine, the Glock 20 magazine, as a backup. So that's that pocket. I don't run anything back here. There's a pass-through. You could run this on your belt if you wanted to. I'm not going to do it like that, but you can. It does have these hot tabs here, I think they're called. So you can just pull it and it'll partially open it to get to your pistol. I don't run it like that. I mean, I can. I just choose not to. But I have more than enough room in here to run I have a Gerber bone saw I picked up at a flea market for $5, and it worked really well. It cut the pelvic bone really nice to gut that deer. So I can put that in here. I could put some paracord in here to drag a deer, or if I want to hang squirrels or whatever. That's another thing I have to run into, is I'm probably going to throw a small plastic, like Dollar General Walmart bag in here to put squirrels in and carry them once I, hunt them and kill them in order to transport them back to the vehicle. But you can pack a lot of gear in here. So I'm probably going to throw a plastic bag, some zip ties, but all that stuff is in my main hunting bag. So I grab this and my main hunting bag, put them in my truck in the back seat with the firearm, get to the hunting spot, and I can choose what I bring in and out of the woods. That is what is so versatile about this, is I have a main bag that I don't have to, that has all my heavy gear in it, that I don't have to hike back and forth, but I can add stuff or take stuff away when I want to at the vehicle and then go into the woods. That is why I like this. It is so versatile, because what I have in here for small game, I might not run in here for deer. I probably won't carry ammunition in this. I usually carry what's in the gun, throw a few bullets in my pocket, but I can throw a few bullets in here if I want to. So that's what makes this so versatile. Another thing, you guys have probably noticed watching my videos, especially lately, there's probably I have chronic dry mouth. That's why I had to stop chewing tobacco. I went to the nicotine pouches, which don't help the situation. I have chronic dry mouth. I know there's a medical term for it, whatever. I have chronic dry mouth. I have to have a drink with me in the woods. That is one of the biggest issues I have, and some of you might have that issue as well. It's very difficult to carry a drink into the woods. I live off energy drinks and water. Coffee. Caffeine and water. That's what I run on. I don't drink soda anymore. Black coffee, sugar-free energy drinks, water. So it's very difficult to carry an open can, like an energy drink, into the woods. Very difficult to carry water in the woods, especially if you want to lug around a lot. Again, I have chronic dry mouth. When I small game hunt, I go 3-4 miles out. Deer hunting, I don't have to go more than a couple hundred yards, so it's a little bit easier for me deer hunting because I'm sitting down. Moving around with water weighs a lot. Water weighs a lot. That's why my mouth sounds gummy and I mess up words, because I don't talk a lot. On the videos I do. This is an outlet for me to talk a lot. So, hi. Because of that, I have chronic dry mouth. So out in the woods, I'm usually hunting with a buddy. I usually never hunt alone. Unless I'm deer hunting, it's on my property. Only recently I've had a buddy come up and hunt with me. But when I small game hunt, I always have somebody with me. Because it's not that I'm unfamiliar with the land, but it's not mine. so I always have a buddy with me. I can't pack him up like a mule to go hunting to carry my water. I have jumped on a bandwagon I swore I would never get on. I am a huge shopper at thrift shops. I love secondhand stuff, even at gun shops. This is a good example. Great value. $90 they go for on eBay. You might find them cheaper, $90. I got this in a Glock. I pretty much got, I think the Glock mag was 15, $25. Works perfectly. It's a Simmons. I've had Simmons scopes. I've had their monoculars. I've had their spotting scopes for at the range. I know they're decent enough to use in the field, so $25 I bought it. I love secondhand stuff. Very rarely do I buy brand new equipment. This was an exception because of the price. Tourniquet holder, I think, was $11 on Amazon. Oh, that's a Cat Gen 7, by the way. Don't buy off-brand when it comes to medical. That you need to spend the money on. So, I jumped on the bandwagon. I buy water bottles a lot. You can find some pretty good deals. I found some Coleman. I found those big Stanley thermoses. I found some pretty good stuff at Goodwill Salvation Army for a good price. Very recently, probably within the last 6 months, I've switched to drinking water. I used to never drink water, ever. I used to only live on energy drinks. I worked at a rehabilitation center for teenagers for drug and alcohol problems. Very mentally straining job. I probably would down 6 energy drinks in an 8-hour shift. It's insane. So now that I don't work there, I work from home. I don't have to worry about weight as much. I don't have to worry about, because that was the big joke with me at work, is I always had an energy drink in my hand. Always. I love the sugar-free rock stars, the gold can. Those are cheap. They do the trick. I have one every morning. It is what it is. Make fun of me. That was the joke when I worked there, is I always had an energy drink in my hand. It's a pain in the ass. So when I started working from home, it's different now. I don't have to worry about carrying around a water bottle around. It's there on my living room table. It's there on my coffee table at all times. Point I'm getting at, I jumped on a bandwagon at Tractor Supply. Yeti. Never bought into the expensive stuff. I love the Ozark Trail stuff from Walmart. I've had their thermoses for years. I've used them in law enforcement. I've used them at the rehab. I love them. But now that I make about triple, I'm not rich. Now that I make about triple what I did at the rehab, I can afford to broaden my horizons a little bit. Buy brand new gear. Maybe not every time I get paid, but I have the extra money to do so now. Saw Yeti sitting there. I like straws when it comes to drinking, and not alcohol, but like soda, whatever. I like drinking out of a straw. It's very convenient. Just pick it up. I don't have to lift anything up like a can out of a soda bottle. I like drinking from a straw with water. It's just personal preference is what it is. They had a $30 Yeti tumbler there and a color I've never seen before with a straw lid for $40. That to me is absolutely insane. I don't care what anybody says. Way too much money for a frickin' water bottle. Absolutely insane. Never pay that price. Now I have a little bit more money to work with. Guess what I bought? I bought the $40 water bottle. So this is it. It's Venom green, I believe. How am I going to carry this in the woods? Well, I went out and I got this holster thing on Amazon for $12. I bought a sling for it for about $10. This I can throw over my shoulder with this. Now, I'm going to be carrying a lot. I'm not too sure if I really want to do this. Leave this in the truck. Take a drink when I need. But it's nice to have. This is 28 ounces or 26 ounces. Around the house, this was not enough for me. I go through about a gallon and a half of water a day. I was filling this up way too much. My wife was getting annoyed. Hey, babe, can you fill my water bottle? I was even getting annoyed going over and filling it up. I don't have it in here in my bedroom, but I bought the 64-ounce big boy of this with the straw lid. $60 on Amazon. So $100 for 2 water bottles. I know it's insane. My thought process is when I go fishing or hunting, because fishing I'm also really into. This, I can go out on a dock, set this down. That's not a big deal. It doesn't have to be carried. So my thought process is this is what I'll carry in the field. The 64-ounce will stay in the truck. So I can throw this on my person, and if I need a refill, I can go get the 64-ounce and dump it in here. I had to get the 64-ounce off Amazon. They did not have this color. If I'm spending $60 on a water bottle, it's going to be the color I want. No, there's not water in this right now. But this is a lot. This on my chest, gun on my hip, pistol on my hip, this around my shoulder, gun with a sling around my shoulder. It's a lot on my neck, on my shoulders. I have a bad neck. So I'm not sure how I want to do it. I'm going to test some things out. I'm going to go out in the field, test it out, see if it's way too much weighing down on my neck. If it is, this will stay in the truck. I'll take a drink when I need to. I can come back to the truck. It's about a half hour each way back to my vehicle. So I feel like I can survive. I know the land pretty well to where I'm not going to get stranded. But yeah, I wanted to throw this in here because water is a big thing, especially if you fall down, you get hurt, you're stuck somewhere, you want to be able to stay hydrated. So I don't know. I just wanted to share this with you because I thought it was cool. It's maybe going to go with this. I have to see about going small game hunting. I have to go out on a hike and see if this is something I can handle carrying or not. Because again, I have a really bad neck. So all that weight down on my neck, on my shoulders, I don't know if I'm going to be able to carry that. We will see. But I did jump on the bandwagon and buy a fucking Yeti. Tell you what, they do work. That big one keeps my drinks pretty cold. I'm not going to bring out the Glock. It's in my safe, the 29. So I need to get an inside waistband holster for that. I did pick up one of those Blackhawk cheap ones for about 20 bucks used, which my 30 also fits in my 30S. I don't know how much. I'm not a big outside the waistband guy. I just feel like it gets in the way, especially when you have something slung over your shoulder like a rifle or a shotgun. I have a huge issue with that. So when I'm in the woods, again, I always have a pistol on my hip. Because of my body style, when I sling a rifle over my shoulder, the scope always hits the butt of my pistol grip. I hate that. It annoys the living shit out of me. So I usually carry the rifle in my hands. A shotgun I'm not as worried about, especially with the red dot. I don't feel like it just bumping up against it is going to affect anything. If not, I can just carry it like an upland shotgun. Not that big of a deal. So that was the original idea for this, was to carry a gun on my chest. And then I realized I can always carry a backpack in the woods. I don't need a backpack. I don't need one. Why not just get one of these? It's sitting in front of you. Now you know my answer of what I went with. It's much easier to carry this in the woods than a backpack. The only advantage a backpack has is they usually have water bottle holders on the side, especially the ones I buy. That's the only gripe, and there's no way to attach a water bottle to this, and I feel like it'd be too much pulling down on my neck. That's the only advantage to me a backpack has over this, especially, and this is not a survival bag. Oh, didn't mean to bump that. Let me get that right off the bat here. Not right off the bat. We're 27 minutes in, but this is not a survival bag. This is a day hunt bag. You go out in the woods for 3-4 hours, you come back to your vehicle. This is not a survival bag. This is not a camping bag. Could be a hiking bag. That's not what this is. I don't do a lot of camping anymore. I don't do a lot of that stuff anymore. My time is primarily taken up with work, hunting, or fishing. I usually don't have time to camp. I understand I can make a couple days out of it and go, on a hunting, camp, adventure, and all that, and that's fine. But since I own my own land for deer camp, I can just sleep in the house. I don't have to camp. I don't have the time to have obligations here at home with work that I have to take care of. I don't have the time to necessarily camp. Working from home and I go deer hunting, I can take my work with me up there. That's the advantage from working with home. I can't go sit in a tent and do my work. I need to have internet access to do it. So because of that, that's how I get away with deer hunting. I can go up there for a week or two or even a month because I have internet up there. Now it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's not great internet, but I still get internet up there. That's the beauty from working from home. But it takes out for me not being able to camp as easily. This is not the kind of job I can take days off with. So because of that, it strains me with camping. That's why I built this, to where I don't hunt far enough away to where I feel like I'd be stranded, lost. I know the area. I know that section of state game lands. I know everything that's surrounding where all the houses are, things like that, to where if I got hurt, I have an advantage because I know the land. The land I own it. Again, I usually have somebody with me that has another walkie, so I'm not that concerned. That's why this is not a survival bag. What do I need with me to go out, get some game, process it, bring it home and eat it? Because we eat a lot of game here in my house. That's why I hunt, is I like to hunt, bring food home. It's the most expensive way to get free food. That's how I look at it. But anyways, guys, I know this has gone on for almost 30 minutes. I just wanted to show you this. I thought it was a cool idea. I told you I want to do more YouTube videos. I thought this was a badass idea, how I want to set it up. So this isn't my typical video, but I want to get into the more hunting stuff because, again, I live and breathe deer hunting. I love fishing. I love small game hunting. I love camping, even though I don't do it really much anymore. I love anything outdoors in the woods. But deer hunting is where my heart is. It just is what it is. So I'm kind of centering around that. All the other stuff, the fishing, the small game stuff, it's just stuff to keep me occupied until I can deer hunt. That's all it is. So I might set this up, show you how I set it up for deer hunting once the season comes about, but small game will be here before then. So we will see what happens. I will let you guys know. I'll give you an update here come this fall. That's not the next time I'm going to upload, but next time you see this pack, I'm going to, go out on a couple hunts and see how it works out, and then get back to you guys and let you know how I feel about it. But I thought it was a really cool idea. I definitely wanted to share it because there's not a lot of reviews on these. And I want to get more like-minded people ideas, because this is what I do now that I'm home. I do a lot of research into gear and stuff, and I feel like some people are like that. And now that I have the ability to sit home and do that research, maybe I can, give some people some answers. Like, hey, what is this pocket for? What is that pocket for? Because that's what I look in a bag. When I want to review, I want to know each individual pocket. I sit there, I do my research, and then I go through the inventory I have, and I'm like, okay, when I get the bag in, at home, this is going to go here, this is going to go here, this is going to go here. That's how I operate. I know a lot of people think like that. That's why I'm doing this video. So if you guys have any questions about this, shoot me a message, shoot me a comment, however you want to do it. Other than that, guys, you know how it goes. Stay bladed, stay pewed, and most importantly, guys, stay free.